YouTube is the biggest video sharing platform with an extremely diverse community of content creators, filled with the same people who can't control themselves around preschools.
Pedo!
What?
Pedo!
This shit is either a weird coincidence or YouTube has a bigger problem that most don't notice. I believe it's the latter, mainly because, sadly, that is the nature of the internet. Which makes me wonder how any parent came to the conclusion that iPads were a good replacement for actual fucking parenting. This is all apparent if we take a look at Exhibit A. I have never seen a case as gigantic as this one, carried upon by the Cupcake Man himself. Like, I swear, they had more evidence in one fucking text convo than the DEA had on Escobar. Holy shit, this man was dragged to the depths of hell. The horrific shit that this guy sent to what he believed was an underage girl is mortifying. Like, how's that shit happen? How fucking depraved does your ass have to be to send someone who was a heinous shit to a person you know is underaged? He wasn't even trying to cover his tracks or anything. How the fuck do you send a 13-year-old girl a picture of the fresh steamy shit in the toilet? And the thought doesn't cross your mind to think, the hell is wrong with me? And I don't expect a kitty diddler to have any substantial voice of reason, but
This is fine.
you're shit of all things. And this shit just came out of fucking nowhere. I used to watch ADP, and thought he was a pretty funny dude. Just some guy in his room making dumb vlogs. And maybe I should have known considering some of the topics that ADP covered.
Shit, man, I'm about to shit on myself, man.
I also do know that he got caught in a previous situation with another underage girl, which I guess should have served as a warning.
You admitted this is not your first time, this is up to like 6th time.
Right.
This is your 5th or 6th time.
Thank goodness he didn't get anywhere near an actual child, or else the situation would turn into something funny and embarrassing to possibly a deathly horrific crime. At least more than a crime there was already. Could you imagine EDP chasing down a small girl like he's the boulder from Indiana Jones? I mean, just the sight would make me faint altogether. Little kids are the biggest targets to this menace. He has so much mass, he practically has his own gravitational force, perfect for attracting small objects or children. And you probably think I'm fat shaming. Guess what? You're right. Now, as fucked up as EDP's actions were, at least he got some dire consequences for it. He lost basically every job he applied for because of people reporting him, which I'm not saying is right, but are completely reasonable consequences. You can't just send an underage girl absolutely horrible messages without expecting, I don't know, the FBI getting involved? And even though EDP has completely disappeared off the face of the internet, there are still some like him who still have an active YouTube channel, like the next personality we'll be talking about. Let's get right on to Exhibit B. Continuing through with this saga of sex offenders,
I came looking for booty.
we have yet another internet personality who, despite their immense wealth and power, decided to go after the most vulnerable in society. And while the victims may not have been as young, that really doesn't make this any better. The purpose of the video was to find a reason why YouTubers go after people who are significantly younger than them. James Charles, 21 at the time, messaged multiple minors, asking for explicit images and sending some of his own. Now, he may not have been as extreme as EDP, but again, that doesn't make this any better. And then he had the gall to make a shitty apology video about committing the disgusting act. Like, bro, a simple sorry sisters ain't gonna cut it. I know in a desperate situation like that, people look for any means to get the heat off their back. Sad to say, however, when you're in something this deep, there's not much you can do, and not a lot of people willing to listen. Sadly, James Charles still has a platform, and sadly, he will still make money. That just happens when someone gets this much influence. They firmly grasp the sack of the internet, and they never let go. And the thing is, everyone seems to have forgotten about it. When it came to EDP, he was ransacked of all of his internet rights and can never hope to make another video again, while James Charles is out here still prospering. I know his YouTube channel is practically dead at this point, but he still has fans. He still has people who are either completely oblivious or don't know about his controversy, still commenting positive things about him. I understand separating the art from the artist, but these people don't. They're still in love with James Charles. They just have to pray that he's not in love with them as well. Come on, let's be honest. No person over the age of 17 is watching James Charles. They've probably gotten old enough to realize that James is just a borderline pedophile. Like shit, you are a multi-millionaire. At that point in your life, you've gotten so much. You've achieved things that well-off people could only fucking dream about. Yet you still decide to go after minors. If he wanted to be an absolute villain, he could have just taken the Epstein route. Keep in mind, he is a makeup YouTuber. Someone who simply reviews and tries makeup in different ways. You wonder how such a wholesome topic could lead to so much controversy. If you know, you know, but I don't want to get into that right now. So why don't we talk about someone who's maybe as equally as bad?
Hey guys, I want to talk about a lot of the stuff that's been going on online lately.
I like young girls. I like them 15, 14, 16. I like them real young, my nigga.
Who could have known that Miniladd would actually live up to his name? Last and definitely the least in this egregious trilogy, we have what I consider a very sad case. What started off as a guy who made some genuine content, the typical stuff you'd see from a gaming YouTuber. I was never a Miniladd fan. In fact, I wouldn't have even known about him if it wasn't for his controversy. Which is a really fucked up way about learning about someone. Imagine you walk into school one day and your friend says, "Hey, have you heard of Mr. Gordon?" "No, I haven't." "Well, he got arrested for terrorism." Like shit, that's not a good introduction. The thing that all three of these YouTubers have in common is the fact that what happened to them was so unbelievably unexpected. I could kinda see why in the case of James Charles, because he was known to just be a creepy guy on and off camera. But when it comes to EDP and Miniladd, especially Miniladd, what the fuck made them specifically do shit like this? Like Miniladd had a girlfriend at one point. He could obviously pull, but decided to go after minors for some reason. I really don't have much to say about Miniladd that I also haven't said about EDP or James Charles. What makes Miniladd's situation so sad is the fact that he's a person that a lot of people can relate to. ADP is kinda relatable, but his situation was so fucked up to the point where that's all people could think about when they hear his name. James Charles didn't seem very relatable outside of the makeup community, but Miniladd, man, he was genuine and humble, at least to a certain point. He did get into some shit with the Vanoss crew later on though.
Well, I don't work with Mini after he tried to publicly oust me for something I didn't do and didn't say.
How do you expect someone like Miniladd to commit some of the most atrocious acts ever? A common explanation to why YouTubers get involved with minors is that they're exposed to mostly minors on the internet. They cater to children, or at least children find this stuff very easily and don't think twice. It could also be because of their ego. With all the fame they get, they probably think they can just get away with whatever they want. But I just find it fucked up, as most would. The internet in and of itself is a dangerous enough place for kids, and at this point in time, it's almost inevitable that a kid would be exposed to some weird shit on YouTube and on the internet. But you'd think this would be happening with extremely niche YouTubers who are very small and don't have much to lose. But this is happening with extremely large YouTubers. All three of the YouTubers I just talked about had over 1 million subscribers. I think the most valuable lesson we can take away from this is that always take screenshots.